Hi guys and welcome back to this video. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions on this eBay palette. Okay, so I've got my base on, got the foundation, a bit of colour correction, and now we're going to go ahead and use this palette. Now as you guys can see, there's a few darker colours here, and to be honest, I think I'm more comfortable using this shade as the contour and maybe that as the bronzer, so let's get to it. This is like a small slanted foundation brush, so just etching at the cheekbones. So far, pigmentation and the way it applies pretty well. I think it's good. Let me just try and even that out. And then for my forehead, I'm going to grab the slightly bronzier shade and palette. Ah, okay. So it looks oranger or like warmer, looks warmer in the pan, but once applied to the skin, it's actually quite neutral as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and apply my regular concealer underneath the eyes because I don't think any of these colours are going to work as like a brightening concealer. So I'm just going to use this one by Maybelline. And for the rest of the highlighting, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use that yellow shade. Let's see, what brush can I use? So I'm just applying it to areas that I would normally highlight. And I find that this yellow one's not as creamy as the contour shades, which is odd because they kind of appear to have all the same kind of consistency. But anyway, that's that. I'm not going to highlight the chin because I've got colour correction in there. But yeah, I think that's okay. Now I'm going to grab a beauty sponge and I'm going to first blend out my concealer and my highlight. Quite happy with that, not very ashy looking, which is good. Okay, so that's blended, and to be completely honest, I think the yellow shade is a little bit too light on me. It's kind of looking a bit ashy, but let's see what happens when I apply a face powder and everything else. So now I'm just going to blend out the contour. That looks good. Okay, let's just blend out the jawline. Now when it comes to blending from the jawline, just blend downwards. Okay, so that is pretty much all the contour and highlighting shades blended, and what do I think? I think the contour shades blended out perfectly. The colour for my skin tone reference, I'm NC 42, 43, 44, you know, that shade range. I don't even know if they make shade 43, but anyway, I think it looks okay. In terms of that yellow highlight that I applied on my forehead and the bridge of my nose, I think it's a little bit light for my skin tone or my skin colouring. It kind of looks a bit ashy. So there you guys go, that was my application and like first impressions about the whole thing. And now I'm just going to be talking about the colours. So again, you get 15 shades in this palette. Let's talk about some of the colours. So the white one, it's more of a white glossy sheen, to be honest. I don't think even a person with a fairer complexion can use it as a highlighting concealer. It's more of just like a highlighting colour. Even on my skin tone, and I possibly think maybe darker skin tones can use this as, you know, like when you've done the rest of your face and you use that to highlight on tops of your cheekbones, because it does catch the light nicely. It's more of a glossy finish, so I think it's really good. So in terms of the green and the purple, they're not very pigmented either, but then again you'd be using them more for colour correction as opposed to concealing, so I give it that. I think it works really well. Though I think they look a little bit ashy on my skin tone. I think they're more aimed for people with fairer complexions, but I don't really think this is going to be a problem if you're going to be using your foundation on top anyway. Okay, moving on to these colours here. These colours here in the middle look more like concealing colours. Honestly, they kind of all look the same on my skin tone, varying degrees of peach and pink, you know, it's not very different on my skin tone. So I'd say these colours I'd use more for just like subtle highlighting with concealer. The pigmentation and coverage with these things aren't that great in my opinion for concealing like spots or anything like that, so I wouldn't rely on that for concealing, just more on highlighting. So I'm really more interested in that yellow shade over there. I think it's a bit too light, a bit too cool on my skin tone. I think if I were going to use a yellow base like concealer corrector thing, I would use something like this. This one's the LA Girl Pro, and as you can probably see, this one's a lot warmer and a little bit deeper compared to that one, but I think it still works. I mean, it's not a big problem now that you look at my face that I've applied the rest of my makeup, but yeah, I wish that this one would have been a little bit more like this. So these colours here that are more orangey, for those of you guys that do have a 5 o'clock shadow, I don't think this is going to work unless you're quite fair. For me, the Ben Nye Beard Cover, this one is 50 Sharp, this is the shade. This one works for my complexion, again NC 42 to 44, around that shade range. These colours are a bit too light, so they're just going to bring a little bit more emphasis to that area as opposed to colour correcting and concealing. So I don't think I'm going to be using much of these orangey shades at all. In terms of the contour shades, the first one, the lighter one, I don't really think it's good for contouring. It looked a little bit ashy on my skin tone. I thought it was going to be warmer compared to the rest of the colours, but it turned out to be more neutral, and it wasn't dark enough to actually be a contour. It just kind of looked a bit ashy. Not apparent anymore because I did fix it with a little bit of bronzer. But moving on to the last two colours, I think these two colours, if you guys are really into cream contouring, these are the two colours that you'll probably use the most. For tanned, medium skin tone people, you will probably use this one more for more of a subtle contour, and obviously the darker colour for a dramatic contour. I think I could get away with using either or, to be honest with you guys. So that's the darkest colour. Let me just swatch it a bit more. So that's the darkest colour, and this is the second darkest colour. Sorry, I've got a lot of swatches on my hand. So yeah, there you guys go. Definitely the darker one is for more of a dramatic contour, but obviously you can blend it out. That's the good thing about cream contours, you can blend them out. Let me just wipe this. So there you guys go. That's my first impressions on this palette. Overall, I think it's a really good buy from eBay. It's very inexpensive and it does the trick. So if you guys have tried this specific palette or have tried out the other contour palettes on eBay, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment box down below. And if you guys found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to thumbs up the video as well. Just lets me know that you guys really like these videos. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. It's not actually touching my skin. Wait, there we go. And just apply like that.